And what was I talking about? The pivot?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll attach it. So I'm going to start this over real quick. So really what I was talking about was, because I wasn't recording for your benefit here, when you set up, and I'm gonna get oh, he's got a driver too, good. So when you set up, you can see that you've got this nice tilt,
Okay.
and so does he.
Okay, let me ask you one question. Are my hands in good relation?
Yep, they're good. They're good. Yep, they're good. Believe me, I'll tell you everything you need to know. Don't worry, right?
That's fine, I'll shut up.
So you've got the nice tilt of your spine. So does Justin Rose. Well, as he makes his backswing and turns back, he's still maintaining the same orientation of tilt. He still has that tilt away from the target, where his upper body's tilted a little away from the target. When you go back, what happens is you lose that tilt. Your hips, you lift up the club a little bit rather than turning, and you start to slide your hips back. And you get going this way a little bit. Well, at impact, Justin Rose is going to maintain that same tilt all the way through because he's a tour player, right? At impact, you're also going to look that way. The trouble is you're not that way now. So what you're going to do is you're going to get your hips going forward a lot faster than everything else is going forward to get you in a good, powerful position. And what happens is you end up getting out of sync, and then you have to, at impact, kind of wait a little bit and flip your hands through. And that's going to give you thin shots and fat shots and some inconsistent shots, especially with the driver. And long irons can be really, really tough that way. So what we want to do is work on the pivot, where you can learn how to make, this type of a turn like Justin Rose is making. And I'm going to send you a little drill on how to do that right up front. Okay, the pivot, here it is. We're going to think about the way our spine is working, our shoulders and hips are working. So when we set up to a golf shot, remember this. For a right-handed golfer, your right hand is lower on the club than your left hand, so our right shoulder should be lower than our left shoulder. And what that does is that tilts our spine a little bit so that the top part of my spine is farther from the target than the lower part of my spine. And what we want to do is, as much as possible, we want to maintain the orientation of this tilt to our upper body. So a good-looking pivot would look kind of like this. And you can see what's happening is I'm maintaining my torso angle so that the top of my torso up here is farther from the target than the bottom end of my torso. Really, really common. If you look at yourself in the mirror, if you look at yourself on video, we see a lot of golf swings where the right hip or the back hip slides backwards. And look what happens as my hips slide backwards. I get a reverse pivot. I'm actually not able to turn my shoulders or my hips properly, and I end up with a out-to-in swing path. A lot of times we end up with a reverse weight shift coming through. We hit top shots and chunk shots and all that. So here's the pivot drill. We're going to set up looking in a mirror with the club right up on top of our shoulders like this. I'm going to get down into my golf posture. And again, I'm a right-handed golfer, so my right shoulder is lower than my left shoulder. All right? And I'm going to look in the mirror, and I'm going to make sure that I'm turning my hips and shoulders, and I'm maintaining this relationship where my spine stays tilted. Okay? I do not want to end up with this sort of a thing. All right? We need to get back over here. Now, when we look at things from down the target line, the next part is this. I'm tilted. Again, this is my primary spine angle, we call it. You can see that obviously I've got a tilt. I'm not straight up and down here. So when we do our drill, I'm going to look in the mirror again. I need to make sure my back shoulder is lower than my front. And I'm going to maintain now the tilt this way as well. So this is something that's really critical. At first, when we have somebody that's got a problem with their pivot, they will tend to, when they do this drill, come this way. And, at least I'm getting at least when I do it that way, I am keeping the orientation correct over here, but we need to keep it correct on both angles, both down the target line as well as from the face-on view. Okay, so this is something you can do, practice in front of a mirror, and what I would recommend is start off with this face-on view,
where you can see that trail shoulder comes down. We've got a spine tilt here, and we can turn the shoulders and turn the hips. I'm just not sliding the hips and letting them turn. This is something that's a lot easier to do with a club up like this than it is with your hands on the club. It's just a lot harder at first to do it while you're swinging the club. Once you get it down from this point of view, then start looking at yourself in the mirror this way. Okay, I've got this nice tilt to my spine going this one, my good posture. I'm going to maintain it, and I want my shoulders to turn 90 degrees relative to my spine. I don't want that to happen. Okay, so that's the way it is down the line. That's the way it is face on. Practice this 5 or 10 minutes a day, and your golf game will get a whole lot better. Be sure to check out our YouTube channel for more instructional videos.